When you've got a special occasion and you're setting the table that you're going to have young kids at, elementary age or maybe even older, are you pulling out the good stuff, or are you choosing to use your everyday dishes because you're afraid that things might break or get stained? I'm Nicole on the table, and today I want to chat with you about using the good stuff for those special occasions and to overcome the fear of spills, breaks, and anything else that might happen to those good dishes and that good glassware or the table linens. Because you know what happens? That good stuff, when it's not used, it just collects dust. It might as well not even exist because you don't use it. So let's work on using good stuff with young kids. And I'm going to talk to you about when, why, and how to integrate that fine stuff and create special memories using your good stuff with your young children. First, let's talk about why. Why you should use the good stuff when you're setting a fancy table that young children are going to be sitting at. It's because they're going to learn something important. They are going to learn that there are special things on the table, that they're worth noticing and enjoying. Now, it's not about setting the formal table. It's more about setting a table with intention. The intention to create lasting memories. Because these memories, they are going to remember forever how they felt, how important they felt sitting at a table with the good stuff. It's also going to give them confidence to be around those pieces, confidence to be around good china, good flatware, good table linens. And it's also going to help them realize that sitting at the table isn't just about eating, it's really about creating experiences. When you think about it, when you're pulling out the good stuff, it's for usually a special occasion. There's a reason why, and you want that experience to be memorable. Now, using the good stuff with young kids is helping enforce that memory. The other reason why is that when you don't use your good stuff, it's going to be collecting dust in the drawers, the dressers, the boxes, wherever it's stored. And you almost might as well not even have it. If it's not going to be used, why do you have the good stuff besides creating memories? You don't want to be that person that becomes kind of the family joke as to, oh, we've got good china, but it's always in the cabinet. You want to be the person who uses the good stuff, lets your children, grandchildren learn and appreciate that the good things are worth using. Because what's also going to happen is when you don't use the good stuff, they're going to start feeling that the good stuff just never gets used. It's too important to use. It's too good to use, that it should always just be kept aside and never used. And that's the reason why you want to use it, because you don't want to instill in young children that the good stuff is too good to be used. It's good to be used. Now let's talk about when. When should you incorporate the good stuff into your table settings? Not just for the special occasions and holidays, but other times that you can find when you can incorporate it. For example, maybe you set up a once a month really nice semi-formal dinner at home, a reason to be able to use the good stuff. Or maybe somebody got really good grades or scored a really good test score. Or maybe somebody tried really hard at something, whether they accomplished what they were trying to accomplish or they weren't able to quite get it to that point. Acknowledging the effort and using the good stuff at dinner that night, they will realize that, wait, I'm special. Mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, whoever it is pulling out the good dishes, the nice glassware, because of something I tried to do. I worked extra hard and I'm being acknowledged for it. Or maybe you pull out the good stuff when somebody's had a really bad day or a really bad week, because you're now telling them, hey, you are special. I'm going to use the good stuff because I know you are a special person and you've had a bad day. Let's find a way to help cheer you up and use the good stuff. Now, think about the intention behind the occasion. Why are you going to be pulling it out? Your children, grandchildren, whoever it is going to realize, hey, this is something special that's happening, because this is not the everyday dishes. So when doesn't have to be just for those special holidays and the special occasions. Really find reasons why to make it special, and then that's when you use the good dishes. Next, let's talk about how. And I'm not referring to how to set a table, more about how to get young people involved in setting the table, or how to get them to appreciate the good things, and also not to be afraid of them, not to have the fear of breaking, spilling, damaging them. First, if you got little ones, I would say give them the responsibility of putting the cloth napkins out, whether they fold them or create their own design with the cloth napkins, but young ones can put those cloth napkins at each of the place settings. Then as they get a little older, maybe the responsibility for carrying the plates and putting them at each place setting, same thing with the glasses. I've got tons of videos about where everything should go and ideas on how to set tables. It's really though about having them gain that appreciation for setting a nice table. And with that, get them involved in creating place cards, even if it's just your immediate family or whoever it is, especially little ones. Give them that responsibility, a craft project that they're going to put each person's name on a card, piece of paper, and that they can decorate, design, and do whatever they want to, and then put it in front of where that person's going to sit. Because that immediately is going to elevate the whole look and feel of this fancy table. Another thing that you could do is put them in charge of the centerpieces. What kind of centerpiece are they going to create? Give them parameters. Depending on their age and their interest, you could tell them everything needs to be blue. Or maybe you need to pick 5 things and you need 1 tall one, 2 medium ones, and 2 small things. You could also say, hey, I don't want any stuffed animals on the table. Find something else. But give them parameters, some way that will help involve them in setting a fancy table and creating this centerpiece. They could kind of shop your home. They could find flowers from outside. Anything that is going to help get them involved and make them feel that they're part of setting the table. Because when they are involved, it makes them feel special, and then they really start to appreciate that more fancy table setting. If your little ones are too little to feel comfortable in putting the good dishes, the good glassware on the table, that's something that you can do. And then as they get older, giving them that responsibility. Because as you get older, you get more responsibility, you feel more confident, and you feel more good about yourself, and you enjoy and appreciate setting fancy tables. Something I want to share, because I know so often people don't want to use the good stuff because they're afraid of things breaking, of things getting stained, things getting damaged. I have a friend from college, and she inherited her great-great-great-grandmother's china. But the best thing about this china that she inherited is that it was also her great-great-grandmother's, her great-grandmother's, her grandmother's, and her mother's. And I say that because when you have china for so long, things break. There's no way you're going to be able to keep a full set of china in complete in that many years passage. What her family did, her ancestors did, is that when a plate broke, or when a bowl broke, or a cup broke, and that china set was in their possession, they went and bought a complementing china pattern that matched, not exactly, but looked good with the existing china. So now great-great-great-grandma's china, and maybe great-great-grandma broke a dish or two. And that person went and bought a new place setting of a totally different china pattern, but it complemented and coordinated with the first china pattern. And then the next great-great-grandma did the same thing when something broke. She introduced a new pattern of china into this collection. And that's what it became. It became a collection of 5 different types of china patterns. So not only was it great-great-great-grandma's china pattern, but it was everyone else's, because everyone else had contributed to it. And I love this story because to me, it has even more meaning that way. So when they sit down to dinner, they know that they have all of those generations around the table with them. And then if something breaks, there's not really quite the fear of, oh my gosh, now I no longer have a complete set. Maybe in some ways it's a bit of an excitement of, oh, hey, I can go pick out my own pattern to add to the collection. And now I am creating or putting my mark on this collection of china. And I want to share that because I think that is such a fabulous idea. It's one that I am definitely going to be instilling in the the pattern that I got from my Nana, and when something breaks, I'm going to go pick a pattern that I think looks good with what she picked, but it's going to be my addition to her china. If you like that idea, just share this part of the video with someone else and kind of pass that along, because I think that is a great way to still keep everybody using the china, even if it's not your style or your pattern. Introduce your own style and pattern to it, and then when have those big family occasions and you pull all of it out, oh, talk about the memories. I have a few more nuggets that I want to share with you. Now, I understand you might be absolutely petrified about using your really good china or crystal when you've got really little ones at the table. Now, maybe in that case, go take them to the local thrift store and have them pick out their own special plate, their own special glass, something that's not going to quite have as much meaning to you. It will mean something to them. They will take extra care when they take and put that plate on the table, or when they're using that glass, because they know it is special to them. Another nugget that I have, and since this video is about creating fancy tables when your little ones are sitting at it, it's really about you, meaning you are afraid of something breaking. You are afraid of something getting stained or damaged. There's a fear about little ones and what they could potentially do. But let's be honest, adults do those things. Adults accidentally knock over a wine glass and red wine spills on an heirloom tablecloth. Adults accidentally drop a glass, chip a plate. It happens. These are just things. They're things that we are using to create lasting memories, that we want to preserve these things. But at the same time, what we're really wanting to preserve are the memories that are being made around the table. So that when something does break, something does get chipped, or something gets stained, try not to belabor it. Try not to get too upset by it. Instead, focus on the fabulous memories that are being made, and that piece was there really as a vessel to create that fabulous memory. It wasn't that those plates or those glasses are what made the memory. They're the conduit to making the good memories. And your children will pick up on that. They will understand that, hey, this is something that's used to create fabulous memories. This is not something to be afraid of to use. I hope this encourages you to use your good stuff, set fancy tables for why not reasons, and have your little ones using it as often as you can. If you enjoyed my video, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.